Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award presentation event. My name is Scott Murray, and for decades I've had the distinct honor of serving as the master of ceremonies of this prestigious event, which annually honors the top collegiate quarterback in the entire country. However, this year, instead of gathering together at the historic Fort Worth Club, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we come to you instead virtually. So we're delighted to welcome you all, and certainly thank you for joining us on this, the 44th anniversary of the O'Brien Awards. Let us start our program this evening by sharing with you just a little of the history of the award, named in honor of the legendary quarterback who led TCU to a national championship almost a century ago, back in 1938.
The Fort Worth Club decided that we should have some kind of award that would recognize an outstanding athlete. We wanted a Jack Armstrong type of image, and the natural unanimous choice was Davey O'Brien. He was football in Fort Worth, in Texas, and nationally.
When he got to Dallas's Woodrow Wilson High School, he was all of 5'7" and 118 pounds. But it didn't stop him from becoming an all-state quarterback as a sophomore, or being named school favorite as a senior. His incredible popularity, diminutive size, and enormous heart would become themes that would follow him the rest of his life. Put another way, the stuff of legends. And in fact, in 1937, at 5'7" and now 150 pounds, he was asked to follow a legend at Texas Christian University and become the successor to a two-time All-America quarterback called Slingin' Sammy Baugh. But in typical fashion, it didn't take O'Brien long to make his own name, soon becoming known nationwide as Little Davey. In the days of two-way players, he did it all for the Horned Frogs. At quarterback, he led the nation in total offense and passing his junior and senior years, while he also punted, kicked, and played defensive back. TCU's offense fit his skills perfectly, and Coach Dutch Meyer turned him loose during his senior season. By the time it was over, Little Davey had set all-time Southwest Conference and NCAA passing records and shattered Sammy Baugh's school record for passing yards, leading the Frogs to their first ever undefeated regular season and a berth in the Sugar Bowl, a game they trailed at the end of 2 quarters. But after Davey delivered a rare halftime speech, they stormed back to finish off a perfect season and clinch the national championship. The dream season had earned Davey every honor available. He was named to 13 All-America teams and became the first player ever to win the Heisman Trophy, as well as the Walter Camp and Maxwell trophies in the same year. And of course, he was and still is the smallest player ever to take home the Heisman.
Thank you with all my heart for giving me this trophy, and to my coaches and my teammates who made it possible for me to receive it.
In 1939, he received a $10,000 contract to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, making him the highest paid player in the NFL, and became the only rookie to start a regular season opener at quarterback for that franchise until Carson Wentz did it in 2016. Once again, Little Davey was a smashing success at the ticket office and on the field. His Eagles home debut drew the largest crowd in the team's history, and he led the NFL in passing as a rookie. The next year, he was the league's leading passer again and set a then NFL record for attempts and completions in one game. It came in the last game of the season against Sammy Baugh's Washington Redskins. That game was to be his last ever, as he had already announced his retirement. In a fitting tribute, as he walked off the field for the final time, he was greeted by applause and a standing ovation from more than 30,000 of Washington's home fans. The very next day, along with his former high school and TCU teammate I.B. Hale, he began training for a new career. one of service to his country, in the FBI. Agent O'Brien served 10 years in the Bureau and spent the final 5 in his hometown of Dallas before transitioning into private business, where he put his geology degree from TCU to work and became a highly successful oil man. He was well past his playing days, but the popularity remained. He was requested to endorse a line of football equipment for Wilson Sporting Goods and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and the TCU Letterman's Hall of Fame. And there was another side to this amazing man. At every stop along his incredible journey, he never forgot his modest roots, always finding time to give back to his community and to young people.
It's hard to believe that it's now been more than 40 years since he left us.
And 80 since he first captivated a nation and brought joy to so many on Saturday afternoons in the fall at that stadium less than 5 miles from here. Like many, it's a place where time marches on, but it also remembers, and tonight, so do we. Back to a time when young David would enter that stadium to take on the Goliaths, walking out through a certain metal door, the same one that has been relocated but remains prominently placed, along with the Latin phrase etched in stone directly above it that reads, Crede quod habeas et habes. It means, believe that you can and you will. If ever a phrase captured the essence of the foundation, the awards, and the legacy of Robert David Davey O'Brien, that is it.
Quite a legacy, Davey O'Brien. Well, at this time, let's move on to the awards presentation portion of the evening. I'm delighted to introduce to you one of our scholarship sponsors and the presenting sponsors of this special evening, Higginbotham. Here's the CEO, Rusty Reed.
Hi, I'm Rusty Reed. I'm Chairman and CEO of Higginbotham. I also have the good fortune of serving on the Davey O'Brien Foundation Board. Since its founding in 1986, the Davey O'Brien Foundation has awarded $1.2 million in scholarships to Dallas-Fort Worth students. You know, Higginbotham is aligned with the Davey O'Brien Foundation because of our Higginbotham Community Fund, and we've been very fortunate and blessed to be able to support the Davey O'Brien Foundation and the number of scholarship recipients, and we're happy to do so again this year. I want to congratulate this year's finalists for all they've accomplished. They will each be receiving a $2,500 scholarship to the school of their choice. You'll get to hear from this year's winner shortly. They were awarded $30,000 to the school of their choice. And after hearing from them, you'll see why they stood out. But first, it's my pleasure to introduce the high school scholarship chair, the son of Davey O'Brien, Mr. David O'Brien.
Thanks, Rusty. It is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship winner, Lane Herbert of Green Hill School in Dallas. Lane is the exemplar of a scholar athlete. She is a credit to her family, her school, and her community. Let's learn a little bit more about this outstanding young lady.
Hello, my name is Lane Herbert and I am a senior at the Green Hill School in Addison, Texas. I am honored and humbled to be here tonight in the presence of so many great athletes and sports heroes. I recognize the tremendous opportunity that receiving the Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship brings and the important responsibility it carries with it to love, play, and share the game. The football great, Mike Singletary, once said, "Do you know what my favorite part of the game is?" The opportunity to play. Never before this year of COVID-19 has this been more real or true. As I give these remarks to you and to so many great Davey O'Brien athletes and sports heroes, I want to reflect on what this year has meant to me and the perspective it has afforded me. Recently, while coaching the U8 field hockey players, one of the little players ran up to me and asked me to take her to her mother because her pump had fallen off. It was not until I took her outside to her mother that I realized that this little 8-year-old had insulin-dependent diabetes. 2 months ago, one of my teammates lost her father. And this past summer, another long teammate was diagnosed with an illness that sidelined her senior year. I know that so many more people have suffered in so many ways this year, and most everyone has somehow been touched by tragedy, whether it's been the loss of a mother or father, grandmother or grandfather, business or livelihood. As our coach helped this little field hockey player back on the field safely, I watched this tiny girl with such a big disease just having the time of her life, playing with her teammates, just having fun, just being normal. For those 2 precious hours, she didn't have to think of how her diabetes limits her in most every aspect of her life. I also saw my teammate return to the field with such passion just days after her father's passing. My other teammate, who couldn't play with us her senior year, was included virtually in our practices and games, which I hope helped give her strength in our solidarity to fight her illness. You might ask what these girls have in common and why I'm telling you about them tonight. They are sports heroes, but they also represent the heroism in sports, the ability for sports to lift people up, and the ability for sports to change their lives. The opportunity to play. This year gave me perspective of what makes a great athlete and sports hero. Of course, throwing the winning pass to score the winning touchdown in the last few seconds of the game more than qualifies as a sports hero. Like the incredible athletes Joe Montana and Mac Jones, who are also honored here tonight. But this year challenged us in many new ways. Personally, I had trained hard to try to qualify for the under-19 national team. I had hoped to score tons of goals and win our conference this year, but as I'm sure most of you know as well, the goals shifted. For most of us, there was a period where we couldn't play, practice, or work with our teams. Many of us didn't set our records and goals this year as we were not allowed to play in the normal setting. As another great sports hero, Ken Doherty, said, "The 5 S's of sports training are stamina, speed, strength, skill, and spirit. The most important, the greatest of these is spirit." This year tested our spirits. Not having a season or not being able to practice at all made us re-examine what being an athlete really means. It's not just about the strength on the field or court. It's more about being strong inside, having the grit, determination, resilience, and flexibility. Being an athlete means working every day to be a better version of yourself as an individual and as a teammate. Sports give us this spirit, this inner strength and resilience to put aside our individual goals and to work for the team. With these qualities that make us athletes, we managed to play a better game this year. A game where we were grateful for what sports give to us and the opportunity to play. I am so incredibly grateful to all of my high school, club, and college coaches for inspiring me and providing me the opportunity to play. Thank you to the amazing people at the Davey O'Brien Foundation. It is truly an honor to represent you here tonight. To my wonderful college counselor, Miss Jenny Fisher, for putting up with all of my late-night emails and questions, but for mostly supporting me and believing in me. Thank you to my incredible family, to whom I am so grateful and without whom I would not be able to chase my athletic and academic dreams as I am now. All of these amazing individuals have helped me become who I am today, and they have given me the greatest gift of all, an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than me. They have given me the opportunity to play. Thank you and good night.
I'm Holland Gary, the 1992 Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship Award recipient and Green Hill class of 1993. After graduating from Green Hill, I attended Princeton University for my undergrad degree and the Wharton School for my MBA.
I'm Lane Herbert. I am this year's Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship recipient, and I am a senior at the Green Hill School in Addison, Texas, and next year I will be attending Northwestern University.
Congratulations and welcome to the O'Brien Foundation family. It's great to have another Green Hill soon-to-be graduate joining the list of high school award recipients.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here and so excited to be a part of the family.
We're seeing the list of finalists come out, and just an extraordinary group of students, and being excited for everybody. But I must admit, having a special bit of excitement for a fellow Green Hill student, and I was really excited to see that you had won. When I saw your reaction in the video, it occurred to me that my reaction was very, very similar in that I was excited to be able to contribute towards my education with the scholarship, to kind of help my parents and in a certain way give a little bit back in terms of paying for school.
Yeah, there were an incredible list of finalists this year, and I think it was just honored. I was really honored even to be considered a finalist. I did not expect in any way to win the award, and that was just an incredible experience to be put on the same level as those other incredible applicants. I was blown away, honestly.
When you look at the criteria, the selection criteria and the things that that Davey O'Brien represents, and that the foundation continues to espouse around service, around leadership, around sportsmanship, scholarship, all these important things. These are good things to carry on into your college career and beyond. They're good guiding principles and things of emphasis for folks. Lane, in your case, you're doing a great job. The only thing anybody could say would be to keep it up. And I guess the thing that I would encourage you to do, I should be asking you advice, but really, the only thing I could suggest or encourage you to do is stay connected. Stay connected to the Green Hill community, of course, but in particular, stay connected to the O'Brien Foundation family. You may be in different parts of the world at different times, but when you come back through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, make sure you let folks know what you're up to. Stay connected, even if it's virtual. And if you can make any of the events, swing by, because the foundation's always happy to see past award recipients. You're welcome with open arms, and they like to keep tabs on folks and know what folks are doing in the world.
Definitely. I think that's also another reason why I was so excited to become a part of the family, was sports have been my family. And so it just felt like I was joining and receiving another whole family. So it was really an awesome experience. I'm so glad to hear that it continues on, beyond the luncheon and beyond high school and stuff like that. And I'm really excited to experience that.
The overall experience was completely unforgettable. I remember one particularly salient point was being very, very nervous about being a high school student and being asked to give a speech at a black tie dinner. I was worried about that. I don't remember what I said, but I remember there was a lot of gratitude in it. I tried to keep it brief. I remember Gino Torretta and Jim McMahon, I think, were at the dinner that evening. Also had a chance to meet Earl Campbell, which was a big thrill for me personally. But to be in the room with folks who you have grown up watching on TV, and to know about the athletic accomplishments, but also to see, the accomplishments off the field, and the commitment to service and to community. It was absolutely mind blowing, especially as a student. It'd be mind blowing today, but as a high school student, I remember being especially struck.
When I actually had a meeting with Miss Case Niles after the award presentation on the video, and she's like, we're gonna acknowledge Mac Jones and Joe Montana tonight. And I think my jaw literally dropped on camera. I was like, that is insane. I am so honored to be considered, like, to be recognized in the same kind of evening event as these people. They're incredible athletes, but also incredible characters, and they are obviously very good at what they do. But they are also very good at lifting up their teammates and proving to the world that sports is about inner strength.
Thank you for the wonderful message, Lane. In addition, thank you, Holland, for taking the time to celebrate Lane with us. On behalf of all of us at Simmons Bank, welcome to the Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship family. We are so proud to be able to honor you and wish you all the best. We certainly wish we could have celebrated with each of our finalists in person this year. We know that Lane, Randall, Jake, Rishi, and Sally are exceptional student athletes who will accomplish great things. We look forward to watching their successes and to being back at our luncheon next year. Simmons Bank takes pride in being a community bank here in Fort Worth that has the strength of one of the premier banks in our region. By investing in our friends, neighbors, and the communities in which we live and work, we are committed to helping make dreams come true, including the dreams of the students supported by the Davey O'Brien High School Scholarship.
Thanks so much to our two scholarship sponsors, Higginbotham and Simmons Bank. And we so appreciate your continued generosity, which has allowed us to continue our support of Dallas-Fort Worth student athletes. And certainly, again, our congratulations to Lane. Well done. Well, next up, we'd like to share with you the Davey O'Brien Legends Award. This was established in 2001 to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the foundation and to pay tribute to Davey O'Brien. The Legends Award recognizes a college or professional quarterback who has made a significant contribution to the game of football, both in the collegiate and professional ranks. It is indeed a legendary group. From the inaugural honoree, Roger Staubach, to the MVP of Super Bowls I and II, the late Bart Starr, to four-time Super Bowl champion Terry Bradshaw, to Hall of Famers Warren Moon, Doug Williams, Archie Manning, among other iconic quarterbacks. It's a lineup like few others. Each recipient of the Davey O'Brien Legends Award has distinguished himself as an extraordinary leader and demonstrated exemplary conduct both on and off the field of play. We're proud to have them all on board. And most proud to salute and welcome this year's recipient, four-time Super Bowl champion, three-time Super Bowl MVP, and one of only 10 quarterbacks on the NFL 100th Anniversary All-Century Team, Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Montana. Welcome and congratulations, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys bestowing the honor upon me, and obviously wish you could be there in person, but we all know it's a crazy world out there today.
Indeed, it is a crazy world right now, Joe. I'll tell you what, let's go back to your high school days. You were an All-American in high school, caught the eye of some folks from Notre Dame. Off you went to the Fighting Irish. Tell us about that experience. You win a national championship as a junior, and then you're off to the NFL after your senior year.
We had a good year in high school, but it wasn't great stuff that was going on. But there obviously was enough for them to think that I could be a scholarship. I ended up being a high school All-American on the parade. There were three of us. And, going into Notre Dame, I'm thinking, okay, I got a chance. When I got there, there were 7 other freshman quarterbacks. And there was another one of the parade All-American guys was also there. So wasn't what I quite expected. But I'll tell you what, that team that they had then with Mike Fanning and Steve Niehaus and that defense was, I don't know, it's just as big as some of the defenses in the NFL that I've ever seen. And it was fun. I mean, it was very, very intimidating at first, but as things moved on, you start getting a little more comfortable. To be honest with you, I really wasn't prepared for all of that, and it took a while to get used to.
Now, Joe, as you saw earlier in the program, we honored a high school scholarship award recipient. This is something we've done all the way back to 1986, and I just wondered if you had the opportunity with all of those students and those in the future to share a message, some wisdom with them about what lies ahead and how they should prepare themselves best, what would you tell them?
Well, I think the biggest key to success for me was to believe in yourself. Okay, and I say that in a way that you can't. The minute you stop believing in you, you won't be successful. There's going to be times where people around you doubt you and don't believe in you, but you got to keep going forward. And I go back to when I went to Notre Dame. I tell my boys, hey, look, when I was there were 7 freshman quarterbacks, and by the end of my freshman year, I had worked my way all the way to the bottom of the 7 of the quarterbacks. But you just can't give up. You got to just keep believing, because even if the coach might not believe in you, you got to believe in yourself and put in the work that's necessary, and eventually that'll pay off for you.
Great advice. That was wonderful. Thanks so much, Joe. Let's have a little fun right now with you. Before anybody knew who Tom Brady was, back in the 80s, you were the first player to ever in the history of the Super Bowl to win 3 MVPs. So what would you like your legacy to be?
I think, well, I hope if you ask the guys around me, I was a great teammate. I loved having fun, win or lose. I always tried to be myself out on the field. In the locker room, I had probably the most fun. I was kind of a practical joker on occasion. But all in all, I just think that I love the camaraderie that was there. I love the friendships that I've made that have lasted for a lifetime. And there's nothing like going out on that field and, you're in it deep with everybody. And whenever it goes on, good or bad, you go along the same path and you feel the same things, and you try to help people along the way, and people try to help you along the way when you're not playing like you normally think you should be playing. And I had great teammates, and we had great coaching staffs through the whole time I was there. But the real nucleus of that was the team there, and the guys that Bill Walsh put together that had like mindsets. And that was the real reason for our success. Those guys, you didn't see a lot of bickering going on, a lot of pointing fingers. It was, okay, if you're struggling, how do we help you? No matter if it was me, I don't want to throw any interceptions, but it's going to happen. But somebody doesn't want to drop a pass, and it's going to happen. Somebody's going to miss a block. Somebody's going to miss a tackle. Somebody's going to beat for a touchdown. Okay, let's go. Don't worry about it. We got it from here. And that was the mindset. And I think that was a real key for why we had continued success.
Well, Joe, we thought we'd wrap it up and have a little fun with you right now and bring in a fellow Notre Damer. Fighting Irish, 1987, won the Heisman Trophy from Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas, the same high school that Davey O'Brien went to. That's right, Tim Brown. Tim says he never gets a chance to see you anymore. Right, Tim?
No, I don't get a chance to see Joe often, but when I do, it's always a pleasure, right? I mean, he's one of the greatest, on and off the football field. And, when I got to University of Notre Dame, the legend, obviously had already been formed. And it's just one of those things, like, you don't think about ever being in his category, but you say to yourself, man, if I can just do some of what he did, you're going to be all right, man. And
I think you did all right, man. I got that little trophy up there in the top of your shelf up there. You do have an ugly helmet behind you, though.
Oh, yeah. I know that bothers you a lot, but
it doesn't bother me. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, but no, it's been great. Sometimes you just think there's certain people you would like to bump into more often. But schedules, man, and families, it just makes it very difficult.
Yeah, and just in kind of just a little bit about Tim is, Tim was a great player. Everybody knows what he's done on the field, but what he's done off the field and inside, he's a great person. And it's all, like he said, it's always fun to run into him. I've never seen the man with a frown on his face ever. He's always in a great mood, and I love him. Man. He's the best. Should have been a 49er though.
Always competitors, right, guys? I tell you what, when I think of competition, I think about Pro Football Hall of Famers. I've always been amazed at the great respect that they have for one another. They might have played against each other for years, but when they come together in Canton, Ohio, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's a whole different story, isn't it? Look at you two guys. You both played at Notre Dame, then you went on to the Bay Area and the NFL, one with the Raiders, one with the 49ers. How about it?
There was a standard when I got to the league of money, championships, Pro Bowls, all that thing that you looked up to, and that guy was Joe Montana. I think Joe was the first one to make like $4 million a year playing football. And I can remember us saying, man, that man, he's making $250,000 a week. Can you imagine that? But I'm just saying, Joe was a standard. He was a standard bearer, man. So, and I would guess even Tom Brady is even said today, because look, the fact of the matter, there's only one man to go to the Super Bowl and win every time he went there, right? So I think from that standpoint, there are going to always be guys looking at what Joe has done and measuring themselves accordingly.
Well, we would have been a hell of a lot better with you. We had some pretty good guys, but when I look back on it and I watched Tim and the plays that Tim made during his career, there are guys in the league. You go, dang, we only had that guy on our team. It would be so nice to throw it. I mean, there was a handful of guys that you look around and do that, both offensively and defensively. But like I said, man, he is a true professional in every sense of the way, and a tremendous athlete and player.
Well, Joe, I think if I'd have had you, I probably went from 20 quarterbacks. Maybe after you left, I would have had only 9 after you left. But so I would have cut my 20 quarterbacks down in half if I would have had you for about 10 years. So, but no, it's amazing when you look back on it, man, and you try not to go to coulda, woulda, shoulda, because I get it all the time. If you had Joe Montana, if you had Steve Young, you would have been able to do X, Y, Z. I said, man, look, first of all, Jerry is a good friend, and I say you can say what you want to say, but they were great quarterbacks, but he got open. So and you get open, that's part of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you got a quarterback putting it on you, you got to be open for him to put it on you. So. No, it's been great, man. It's good to reminisce a little bit, but I can't let myself go too far back, Joe. I'll lose my mind.
Me too. I'm with you, man. I try to keep going forward.
No doubt.
Couple of characters. I'll tell you what, Tim, why don't you take us home?
Hey, man, my pleasure. I think I've done that the whole time we've been on the show. Right?
I agree, man.
But hey, Joe, man, look, man, it's a pleasure and honor, man, to be able to stand by you and be able to say that I am here with Joe Montana. It's like when I won the Heisman and I got into the Hall of Fame, and being such a big Cowboy fan, growing up with Tony Dorsett and Roger Staubach, I could not believe that I was in the same room with those guys, and certainly, yourself and now being a part of the Davey O'Brien Legends, man. Welcome. You probably should have been the first one here, but God bless you, man. Good to have you here, no doubt.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure. And it is humbling when you walk into that room with the Hall of Fame, isn't it?
No doubt. Yeah,
I appreciate all that. And you take care of yourself and stay safe, my friend. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Great stuff. Our thanks to them both, Tim Brown and our latest Legends Award recipient, Joe Montana.
Hello, this is Cornell with Frost Bank.
Hi there, this is Terry with Frost.
Good evening, this is Franklin.
This is Robert with Frost.
Hello, this is Rosemary with Frost Bank.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of this great event. All of us at Frost are proud that we are one of the original sponsors of the Davey O'Brien Dinner and proud to honor this year's award winners. Ever since Frost was founded in 1868, giving back to the communities where we do business has been part of our culture. That includes our long-term support of worthy events like this one. It also includes the donations we've made and the work that we've done to help people affected by the pandemic. We maintain the high level of customer service we're known for while taking precautions to help our employees, our customers, and our communities be safe. Here in Tarrant County and throughout the state, we worked around the clock to help small businesses secure emergency loans in the federal government's Paycheck Protection Program. That process continues now that the PPP system is open again. As you saw in our video earlier, doing what it takes to help our customers and our communities is part of the Frost philosophy. It's why we're proud to be part of this event each year. Thanks again, and congratulations to the award winners.
Thanks, Adley, and thanks to all of our special teammates of the Foundation. They allow the O'Brien Foundation to continue the great legacy that was begun decades ago. We thank you all and look forward to your participation for many years to come. And now, it is indeed my privilege to introduce you to the president of the Davey O'Brien Foundation Board. Please welcome our dear friend, Mr. Paul Greenwell.
Thanks, Scott. Good evening. On behalf of the board and the selection committee of the Davey O'Brien Foundation, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's National Quarterback Award winner. In addition to receiving the O'Brien Trophy, this year's recipient will be honored in perpetuity in the National Quarterback Hall of Fame located in this chamber in the historic 136-year-old Fort Worth Club. As is evident, this year's presentation is being done virtual, but we look forward to Mac visiting Fort Worth and the Hall of Fame when his schedule permits. Let's take a moment to relive Mac's magical year and hear from his 7-time national championship winning coach, Nick Saban.
What is the Davey O'Brien? They've got a long history of great quarterbacks who've won their award. What are they getting in Mac Jones?
Well, I think they're getting a guy that, based on his performance this particular season and his journey to be able to get to this season, is pretty phenomenal. He had tremendous success, great understanding, did a great job of executing. The best thing about a quarterback is you make decisions out of where you distribute the ball every play. And I think Mac did that as well as anybody ever has for us, and certainly as well as anybody did this year.
2020 was such a crazy season from so many aspects, especially COVID, social justice. Talk about the leadership that Mac provided, because he kind of stepped up from the get-go. Even though he hadn't been a 2-year starter or anything else, he stepped up from the get-go and really provided that throughout.
Well, I think leadership is one of the critical factors that you always look for in a quarterback, because he's sort of managing the whole offense in terms of calling the plays, calling the cadence, going fast, going slow, controlling the tempo of the game. And Mac is such a bright guy. I think he gained tremendous respect in his ability to take the bull by the horns and actually do that with a limited amount of experience going into this season. And he had a tremendous impact on the other players. And it's a little different style. I think he really cared about the players that he played with, and they knew that he cared, and they had a tremendous amount of respect for how he did what he did. And his example is what probably stimulated a lot of the offensive players to play together as a unit.
And lastly on Mac, it's rare for a quarterback to come into a program and sit for 3 years and learn and develop. Talk about what he did and how that, we look at this year and what he was able to achieve. Talk about what that means to you in this program.
Well, I think it's a great example, for young people. We talk about resiliency. We talk about development. We talk about people being committed to improve and always try to get to the next level of what their performance could be. Mac played behind some really good players here, whether it was Jalen or Tua, and he used those as opportunities to learn. He observed what those guys did to be successful, and he tried to emulate that himself. And he had enough resiliency not to be someone who was going to cut and run as soon as it didn't work out for him, but he had a goal in mind, and he was willing to work and invest his time so that he could accomplish that goal. And I can't tell you how much respect and appreciation I have, for guys who are willing to make that kind of commitment to a standard, and it takes 3 years to develop, but never complained, and always had a positive disposition about how he was going about his work so that, he could have the success that he had this season. And it makes me so happy and so self-fulfilled as a coach to see a player do that, because I think it sets a great example for a lot of other young people in not just athletics, but in all walks of life.
Without further delay, we proudly present the award for the past season's most outstanding quarterback to an incredibly deserving young man. The winner of the 2020 Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award from the national champion University of Alabama Crimson Tide, Mac Jones.
Hey everyone, it's Mac Jones here, former Alabama quarterback. I just wanted to send in a quick video. I know that this year's event is virtual and I wish I could be there, but it has been a crazy year. But I just want to thank everybody from the Davey O'Brien Award, Selection Committee, Trust, and all the sponsors for voting me as the nation's top quarterback this year. It means a lot to me and my family and my teammates. It's a great honor to be named the top quarterback, and it's something that I've dreamed of since I was a little kid. Like I said, I can't thank my family, my coaches, my teammates, and the University of Alabama enough for putting me in a good position to receive this award. It's a great honor, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you all soon. Roll Tide.
Here's a second down. Mac looks, Mac's in trouble, Mac stands in, throws to Billingsley, touchdown Alabama! Touchdown! The fight song from the national champion Crimson Tide of the University of Alabama and their quarterback, Mac Jones. Thanks so very much, Mac. And again, we congratulate you on your outstanding season as the recipient of the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award. Now, as we close tonight, we thank all involved during the year with the O'Brien Foundation, as well as each and every one of you. We thank you for your participation this evening, virtually, and look forward to seeing you all again next year in person. Until then, I'm Scott Murray. Please stay safe and healthy. Good night.